what I really wanted to get into and talk about with this video, a mix of things, how you can start and get into 3D printing. A lot of people may think it's a complicated venture and a lot of things go into it. And yeah, it does have its complexities and ways that it can be a headache here and there, with machine not working, calibrating the machine. Also, just some prints don't work, understanding different factors that play into that. But you learn that down the line. But first, before we get into it, shout out this cool artwork. My dad did this. It's a cool backdrop. I figured might as well do a video. As you can see, he's a whiz with the spray can. Right back into it. It's 3D printing. It goes layer by layer, line by line, and it uses this plastic, this material called filament. And filament is, the technical term is polylactic acid, like PLA is the most popular filament. And really what that is just a bioplastic. We actually make lactic acid, fun fact, but it's a bioplastic that is used. It's mainly found in corn, and it gets mixed up, and then it becomes like this plastic that we use called filament. You can have many different types of filament. There's ABS, ASA, PETG, TPU, and the list goes on and on, depending on what you want to print and what you're trying to do. But the most common filament is PLA. And with PLA, you can do a mix of things. It's strong enough and durable and prints fast enough so that you can get good prototyping. Because with 3D printing, it's mainly used for prototyping. For the most part, it's additive manufacturing. Another term. Using PLA is, it's pretty affordable, quick resource. Everything with filament comes on spools, and PLA is a pretty affordable spool. You can find a good PLA for like $20. You can find a mix of different colors too, glow in the dark. You have some translucent ones that change color like consistently, depending on the light you give it, tricolor, dual color. But yeah, it's a good variety. But with this, the filament goes through this thing called an extruder. And the extruder is what heats up the filament. So it heats it up to a certain temperature, usually about like 200 degrees, 220 degrees, so that it goes through the nozzle at a fine rate. So its filament is already small in and of itself. It's at 1.75 millimeters, which is like the generic standard filament, unless you're getting into a higher grade or a bigger nozzle, those large format 3D printers. But for the most part, the FDM printers with driven machines, we're gonna have to use filament and understanding, the different heat levels, because with different filaments, they'd require different heat temperatures. So with PLA, it's a consistent, and usually most machines have like a set rate to the different filaments you use, so it won't be too much of a problem for you to get into. But yeah, so filament goes through the extruder, heats it up, goes to the nozzle, and it works on a build plate. That build plate is pretty much where everything happens, that work plane. So it builds it up layer by layer, line by line, and it can take hours, days, minutes, depending on the printer you have. But the main thing with prints, and so that they successfully complete, is having supports. And you can have two different types of supports. You can have normal supports that just build on top of each other, and they go with the layers. Or you can have a more complicated support, like tree supports. Tree supports are easier to remove when the print's done, so they're less of a hassle. They don't require like sanding or like buffering, but they can lead to more failures because it's more things that you have to account for on the build plate, at least in my experience. But for the most part, just you use those type of supports to build your model. Once your model is complete, you can have it as it is, and it's buying a printer. So there's different options for different printers you can use. You can have a resin printer, which is one more complicated step. It's process. Prints have a different look to them, but there's a lot that goes into getting it to that look. So I'd say the best way to start is starting with an FDM printer. Most people start with FDM printers, and then they get into the resin printers later on. I personally like FDM because it's easier to use, easier to transport, not too much to handle with. You just buy the spool, put it in. It's a pretty straightforward process. You can buy a printer for, if you get 1500, you can buy a Bamboo X1 Carbon, the elite of printers, because you can have multicolored prints too. They have AMS units per common brand in the 3D printing space. Actually, 3D printer is stand that I'm using. Just easier to talk. But yeah, so you can have that. You can buy the P1S for a little under $1,000, or you can, if you really just want to start, get right into it. I recommend just getting a Bamboo A1, which is like under $500, or if you really on a budget, you can get the Bamboo A1 Mini, which has a smaller build plate, but it has the same machinery as the Bamboo X1 Carbon, so it really competes, and it has really insane print times. Really love it. I own 4 of them, so I use that as my print farm. But it's a good way to start. It's $200, and that's without the AMS unit. You can make it an AMS unit for another $200. But like I said, like if you don't want to spend that extra $200, you can still have a really good 3D printer to start with, and you're good to go. And make an account with Bamboo Lab to access the slicer, because another component with 3D printing is once you have a model, you can either design your model yourself or go on the marketplace or look online for a bunch of free models that are available to you, and you download that model. But once you have the model, it's a matter of scaling it to the size that you want it to be, having it to be able to fit on your printer. And with that, you can put it in a slicer. There's multiple slicers out there for depending on the printer you use. So the most common slicer is Cura Ultimaker. It works with most printers like Prusa or Creality, or Creality has their own slicer too, but different printers that you'd use. And what you'd want to do is with Bamboo, they have Bamboo Slicer, which also is attached to Bamboo Maker World, which is their own marketplace of 3D prints that you can instantly just send to your printer wirelessly, because everything's connected wirelessly with their printers. Would benefit because you can be somewhere just checking on your prints while they're working at home. So you may be asking what a slicer is. So pretty much way that processes the 3D printer processes the filament and the lines, because like I said, it goes layer by layer. So it puts it in this thing called G code. So STLs go into G code, and STL is the standard for a 3D model or 3D file. And once it goes into the slicer, it then turns it into a G code. So the G code is pretty much breaking up that model into layers and lines, and depending on the printer, it'll give you an estimate of how long it'll take. Usually with Bamboo Lab printers, they tend to be much faster because they have different speeds to their printers. But yeah, it's pretty straightforward process. That's 3D printing in a nutshell, and how you can get started. You can model on so many different ways too. Like I said, you can model things yourself. I usually model on the iPad because it's just more efficient. It's user-friendly too. I use Nomad Sculpt or Tinkercad too. Those are my primary softwares. I do know Blender and Fusion 360, but I prefer these because their interface is nicer and it's easier to understand without too much of a learning curve. Yeah, you can start getting creative with it. There's so many different things you can use 3D printing for. And it really just opens up your mind and your creativity to different things as far as like art, engineering, technical stuff. You realize, oh yeah, I could just 3D print something, and it alleviates a lot of things that you wouldn't pay mind to until you have the printer and you have that access. So definitely recommend it for people who are venturing out or wanting to expand as creatives. Use it mainly because I'm an artist and software engineer and creative, so I'm always using it to innovate. You along my process, my journey, is hence why I'm making these videos, show you like the sketch to 3D print process and just what that looks like. But yeah, thank you for tuning in, watching this video, and yeah, subscribe to this channel, and we'll be on this journey together.